Here are 12 things you should never ask from a lottery winner. From expecting a share in their jackpot to asking about their credit scores and charities they donate to, these are some of the no-go areas. Let's find out why it's so awkward to interrogate lottery winners about these things. Number 12. Never ask a lottery winner for money. Let's say you heard that your friend or someone you know has won the lottery. That's pretty awesome for them, right? Winning the grand prize is like a dose of good luck and fortune. But here's the thing. When someone hits it big like that, it's important to keep a few things in mind. First off, it's not really cool to ask a lottery winner for money. Yep, you heard that right. Their winnings are their own personal treasure chest, and they get to decide what they want to do with it. Even if you're super happy for them, it's best not to go all, "Hey, can I borrow some cash?" on them. Instead, what you should do is celebrate their big win with them. Share in their joy and excitement without expecting a financial handout. It's all about being respectful and considerate of their newfound wealth. Now, if your friend wants to include you in their happiness and share their good fortune, that's pretty sweet. And in that case, it's up to them to make the first move. They might find a more subtle way to bring you in on their new wealth, like inviting you to dinner, suggesting a vacation, or finding some other cool way to spend quality time together. But never assume that your friend owes you anything just because they won the lottery. That will put a strain on your relationship, especially because everyone they meet will be asking them for money right now. You can join the crowd, or you can stand out as a true friend by never asking for a piece of the pie. If you value your friendship and have respect for your friend, keep those financial requests in check. There have been many lottery winners in the past who faced such requests. They obviously couldn't say no to people who were coming up to them. But all of this led to serious consequences. For example, do you remember Billy Bob Harrell Jr., the guy from Texas who won $31 million? Well, he gave generously to everyone around him, his friends, family, and the community. And ultimately, things went out of hand. He lost his wife and all his fortune. These dreadful things made him end his life. And he confessed to his financial advisor that winning the lottery was the worst thing that happened to him. So, just a word of warning, let's be kind to our lucky winners. They're already under a lot of pressure. Asking for favors in the form of a lottery jackpot share is indeed wrong. But there's something else you should refrain from, as it might affect the winner. Number 11. Never ask them the reason behind their extravagant expenses. Respect how others choose to spend their newfound wealth. You see, when someone wins the lottery or suddenly comes into a lot of money, they might get a little carried away, which is normal. After all, we're all human, and no one has a manual on how to spend a lottery jackpot. So it's essential not to judge them about how they decide to splash their cash. Bonnie Tsai, an etiquette expert who runs Beyond Etiquette, reminds us that how people use their hard-earned money is totally their own business. Now, if you're hanging out with a lottery winner and they start treating themselves to what some might call over-the-top luxuries, what should you do? Well, Bonnie's advice is simple. Zip it. Don't say things about their choices, and don't be mean. No matter if they're treating themselves to massages every week or splurging on other luxuries, remember, it's their money. They are in the driver's seat when it comes to making financial decisions that match their style and values. Just be cool, be understanding, and let them enjoy their newfound wealth their way. While judging people for their expenses is outrageous, there are some other financial affairs people might be interested in. And this question is also out of bounds. Number 10. Never ask them about their credit score. You might be tempted to inquire about a lottery winner's credit score. And it seems like a harmless question, doesn't it? But before you jump into that conversation, let's uncover the mystery behind why you should be careful. Your credit score isn't merely a random number. It's your financial life story. In other words, it's pretty personal stuff. Unless you're really good with loans or know a lot about finances, it's better to avoid asking about credit scores. Why? Well, because personal financial details are, you guessed it, personal. Peeking into someone's financial treasure chest might earn you the title of nosy or intrusive. And trust us, nobody wants that label. So what's the better plan in such a case? Focus on the big news. The lottery win. Shower them with cheers, high fives, and confetti. There have been many harrowing incidents that happened to winners where people were being intrusive about these top secret matters. Let's focus on the story of Abraham Shakespeare. He won $40 million from the Florida lottery, but he was manipulated by Dee Moore. She offered to help him with his money-related matters and asked him about his credit scores, winnings, and other stuff. And soon, she began spending his money, and he was finally found dead. Before you ask, yes, she did it. See why winners might think questions about their credit score are a red flag? Now, stories like that could scare anyone. Can you even imagine what kind of impact they could have on a lottery winner? Asking about credit scores gives off some bad signals, so why not focus on other stuff that's really important? Just like the credit score, there's another finance question you should avoid asking, unless you're literally their financial expert, which we'll bet you're not. Number 9. Never ask them about their tax situation. Questions about finances, especially the tax payment, are really tricky. You'd probably agree with us on this, right? So, how does one handle that conversation? Well, we have some golden nuggets of wisdom on the matter from Joy Weaver, an etiquette and protocol expert. Joy suggests it's best to hold off on your curiosity. Are you wondering why? Talking about someone's tax bill without their consent is like overstepping their financial boundaries. It's as uneasy as squeezing into a crowded elevator. And let's face it, lotto winners already have a team of experts to help them get through with this stuff. They don't want to have awkward conversations about tax with people they thought were their friends. And that's why Joy wants us to remember that personal finances, including taxes, are off limits in polite conversation. It's like the "do not enter" sign on someone's front lawn. You wouldn't walk past it, would you? Discussing tax-related issues can be a buzzkill, and the following personal question isn't any different. Number 8. Never ask them about the cost of their valuables. Being the lucky winner of the grand prize is a real thrill, but it comes with its own unique set of challenges, like people constantly worrying about how much your things cost. One of the biggest questions that suddenly starts popping up is, how much did you spend on that? People keep asking, and it gets more annoying every time. Before you start interrogating a lottery winner about the price of their shoes, a car, or extravagant diamond ring, consider this. Would you like to be asked that kind of personal question? We get it. It's natural to be curious, but it's also important to respect their boundaries. Bringing up the price of their items can make the conversation awkward and invasive. The thing is that they're not exactly eager to spill the beans on how much they spend on those shiny things. So, if you're genuinely curious about the price tag, here's a quick tip. Do an online search. Simple as that. So, avoid those conversations that dig into their bank accounts. Instead, focus on topics that make everyone happy and keep the vibes friendly. Talk about things like hobbies, travel, food, or whatever keeps the conversation interesting. Keep it fun and respectful, and you'll have a much better time chatting with them. And you never know, if you're friendly enough, you might find some winners can't wait to tell you what the price tag was on some of their flashiest items. But if they want to share, they will. If they don't, then don't ask. Similar to inquiring about the worth of items owned by lottery winners, the next question can be equally inappropriate. Number 7. Never ask them how they can afford something. When you're chatting with a lottery winner, you should steer clear of this question. Can you afford that? Consider this question the curious sibling of asking about the cost. You might say that it's not such a big deal, but trust us, it is. You see, inquiring about a lottery winner's ability to afford something can be quite invasive. It's like assuming they can't handle their newfound wealth or that they're bound to make stupid purchases. Plus, it will give off the impression that, hey, I know better than you how to spend your money. And that's really rude. Try to be real here and put yourself in that position. This way, you'll understand how it feels to hear such comments. The thing is that winning the lottery doesn't magically turn someone into a financial expert. Often, the winner you're talking to is still learning. They might have their own plans, financial advisors, and goals. You asking them about this might seem a bit impolite and dismissive of their self-sufficiency, and that's a surefire way to end a friendship. If you're ever tempted to drop that question, remember that they're perfectly capable of making their own financial decisions. While discussing affordability should be avoided, there's another question that can put you in an even more uncomfortable position than that one. Number 6. Never ask them about their bank balance or their investment plans. Sure, we'd all love to win the lottery, but a one-on-one conversation with a lucky winner is the next best thing, right? We would get a chance to ask some of the most burning questions, such as confirming how much money they have in their bank or how they're going to invest it. But hold up, winning the lottery can be a wild ride. A person's once peaceful life takes a 180-degree turn. They no longer have any privacy. The media is hunting them down. Family, friends, relatives, and neighbors are showing up, trying to be nice in the hopes of getting hold of some cash, or just openly asking for a handout. Suddenly, these ordinary people have a heap of cash to manage, and a whole new world of financial responsibilities opens up for them. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? They're probably wishing for just one person to take a more considerate approach. That person can be you. You can have more meaningful conversations with them than asking about their money. Ask them about their experiences since winning, their dreams, or their plans for the future. Connect with them and show them that you genuinely care about their journey. A person's worth isn't defined by their wealth. And showing respect for their privacy when it comes to their money is a surefire way to be courteous and empathetic. It's best not to pry into their finances, but there is another personal topic that should not be discussed. Number 5. Never ask them about the charities they contribute to. Charitable giving is a thoughtful and personal matter. When it comes to discussing donations, Joy Weaver, the etiquette expert, has some valuable advice. Let's start by acknowledging that it's considered inconsiderate to ask a lottery winner about their charitable contributions. It's a subject best left untouched. Charity is something deeply personal. It's driven by a person's values and experiences. People tend to support causes that really touch their hearts. In conversations with a lottery winner or just about anyone, it's a good idea to stay low-key. Don't ask how much they've donated or for specifics about their donations. It can make people feel uneasy, like their generosity is being put to the test. Even if they bring it up in conversation, don't ask them how much they gave. They probably just want to talk about a cause that's close to their heart. And that's a much nicer topic of conversation. Next up, we have another topic that makes things super awkward for the two people discussing it. Number 4. Never ask them for an invite to an exclusive club or event. Exclusive clubs and events are those fancy gatherings that everyone wants to be a part of. Sure, we all like to be in on a good secret like that, but you should never put a lottery winner on the spot by seeking an invitation. If you weren't invited, there's a reason behind it. It's not just a simple oversight. These groups are often close-knit, and they don't always want new people coming into the gang. Or maybe there are some other things going on that you don't know about. If you keep pressing for an invite, it will not just make things awkward, but it could also lead them to keep a greater distance from you. You could end up straining your relationship. However, if you're really close to someone and you just can't help but wonder why you weren't invited, it's okay to ask. But only do that after the event is over. Respect their decision and keep your curiosity in check. Just like this matter, there's a surprising reason why you should never ask the next question. Number 3. Never ask them about their mortgage company. Before diving in, remember that asking about someone's home financing calls for a gentle approach. Not everyone feels okay talking about it, especially if you're not super close. People might become a little uncomfortable, assuming you're prying into whether they finance their home with cash or a mortgage. And that includes asking a lottery winner about their mortgage company, because that's just another way of asking if they have a mortgage or paid cash. It might be taken as an invasion of privacy or a touch insensitive. Resist the urge to inquire about their mortgage company, and coming up next is another important boundary. Number 2. Never ask them how much money they got. Curiosity about lottery winnings is natural, but it's important to be sensitive when discussing this topic. Money matters can be personal, so let's talk about how to handle it with care. Firstly, remember not to cross the boundaries. People don't always want to share their financial information, especially when it comes to lottery winnings. It's good manners not to intrude into their financial matters unless they decide to open up about them. Instead of asking about the exact amount, you could take the conversation in a more positive direction. Ask them about their plans for the winnings. Are they going on a dream vacation? Supporting a cause they care about? This way, you can learn more about their goals and dreams without making them uncomfortable. You can also ask about how winning the lottery has changed their life. Did it bring them happiness, reduce stress, or create new opportunities? These questions can lead to interesting and meaningful conversations without being nosy. Having discussed the importance of respecting someone's financial status, there's one last thing that you definitely need to know. Number 1. Never ask them how much debt they have. Another question that should be handled with care and sensitivity is, how much debt do you have? Now, personal debt is like a secret diary. It's meant to stay private. Nobody's too keen on discussing their situation openly. Asking about someone's debt is like peeking through their windows, and that's generally not the friendliest thing to do. There's a time and place for everything, and asking about debt is no different. It might be relevant when someone's applying for a loan or chatting with a financial advisor, but outside of those contexts, it's usually best left unasked. Talking about debt can lead to making assumptions and stereotypes about lottery winners. People might think they're bad with money, or that they've piled up mountains of debt. Those assumptions can be way off base and unfair. Just imagine how you'd feel if someone asked you how much debt you have. This is why keep the debt questions in the vault and focus on making the conversation a positive and enjoyable one. When interacting with lottery winners, you should always be empathetic, respectful, and courteous. This extraordinary stroke of luck can bring both joy and challenges to their lives. Their wealth doesn't define them, and by respecting their boundaries, you can maintain a positive and meaningful relationship with them. Now, if you're the one who won the lottery, you need to check out our next video, 10 things to do immediately after winning the lottery. It will help you to discover the best ways to manage things after the grand win.